Now in learning objective E, we're going to state the interval notation where sine, cosine, and tangent are positive and negative. So I don't encourage you to sit and memorize this. I encourage you just to look at the unit circle. Remember, for labeling, x is cosine of theta, y is the sine. So if you think about it this way, between 0 and 90 degrees, that's quadrant 1. That's the same as 0 to 2 pi. So this is quadrant 1. Anything in quadrant 1 is a right and up movement. If it's right, it means cosine's positive. If it's up, it means sine's positive. Now, tangent's the slope of the line. The slope of anything here is going to be positive also. Or you can compute it. Tangent by definition, remember, is sine over cosine. So if you do sine over cosine, the value of sine here is positive. The value of cosine here is positive. Any positive number divided by a positive number gets you another positive number. Let's go over to quadrant 2 here. Anything here is left and up. Well, the left and right movement is cosine, so it's left for cosine, so it's negative. It's up for sine, so it's positive. So cosine's negative, sine is positive. Now if you draw the angle here, notice you read it like a book, left to right, it's going downhill. The tangent here is negative. Or calculate it. Sine over cosine would be a positive sine divided by a negative sine. That will be negative. Quadrant 3, everything down here is left and down. Left and down is going to be negative and negative. The tangent here, though, if you draw a line, it goes uphill. It goes uphill because for tangent, sine over cosine would be negative divided by a negative. That has to become positive. And then the last one here is in quadrant 4. Everything here is right and down. So the right is cosine positive, down sine negative. The tangent here, if you draw an angle and you read it, you're going downhill. Well, sine divided by tangent would be negative over a positive number. It's going to be a negative answer. Well, let's apply this. They want you to give the sign of the following and don't use a calculator. Now, this is actually tricky. If you look at this -7, is it -7 degrees or radians? If there's not a degree symbol, it's radians. And be extra careful here. It's not radians in terms of pieces of pie. So don't say go backwards 7 pies. If you go backwards 7 pies, that's not right. This is laying the radius out 7 times. So recall this. A 2 pi around a circle is approximately 6.28 radians as a decimal. So I have to go backwards. So I'm going to go backwards right now. I just did negative 6.28. To get to the 7, I have to go another negative, 7.72 of a radian. So that's going to land me, I don't know, somewhere in here. I don't know exactly where, but I know I'm in quadrant 4. So in quadrant 4, all they want to know is what's the sign. Well, cosine values down here are going to be a right and down movement. So cosine's positive, sine has to be negative. Tangent by definition, the slope of that angle is negative, or it's negative over a positive. The answer is negative.